The first thing was I was very scared when I first got told I got kidney cancer. I was alone at the time in the room. I had no family with me. I think the closest thing I could say is it felt like somebody had chopped off my legs from below my kneecaps and just didn't know where to turn or what to think. I'd never heard of kidney cancer before. I didn't even know it was such an illness. So yeah, very alone, very scared and very worried.
I just don't think I really believed it. It was such a surprise. I felt well. I had no idea at all. But once I got over that surprise, I think it was real shock that I felt. And the word cancer just made me think that that was the end of the world. And my thought went to my two sons. And I wondered what was going to happen to them, whether I'd see them grow up. So it really was a terrible shock.
When I was diagnosed, the support I needed, I had a very good specialist nurse at the hospital who gave me information upon diagnosis. She told me the ins and outs of what I'd been just diagnosed with, and she came back and spoke to my family when they came in. After that, the specialist nurse pointed me in the direction of Macmillan for counselling, and counselling I received from Macmillan was a real lifesaver for me. I found Kidney Cancer Support Network online, and they were as vital for me as the clinician support that I had through the second diagnosis.
When I was diagnosed, I did look for different sources of information, and online support groups were one of the things that came up when I looked at. I initially joined quite a few, and there were lots of American-based groups, but the one that I found most useful was the Kidney Cancer Support Network group based on Facebook, because the information on there was much more of a higher level, and also it was particularly about UK-based practice. So that to me has been the place where I've gone ever since to look for information.
My family and friends and children were told, my family were told on the phone because I was told in hospital on my own. I was told I had cancer. My wife was at work and my parents were at home, and we decided that we weren't going to tell my only child at that point because he was only 2 years old, so he wouldn't have understood. And the big worry for us at that time was my wife was 14 weeks pregnant at the time of diagnosis, so minimal information to the child at that point.
One of the most difficult things was actually having to tell my family and friends who had got no idea that I was unwell, because in fact I wasn't unwell. But one of the things that did surprise us, and it only came out quite some years after I had my operation, was my oldest son said that he used to listen at the top of the stairs to try and find out actually what was going on, because he didn't think we told him that I had had cancer. And yet if you'd asked us, we would have said yes, we were honest, we were open. So I would say to anybody who's got children, just check with them whether they want to ask anything else. Family, I actually spoke to all of those myself. I wanted to do that rather than my husband, and that was again a very difficult thing to do, because there is this belief that if somebody has cancer, that is the end, and that isn't always the case.
I had a lot of implications with my employment through my diagnosis. On first diagnosis, when it was contained within my kidney, I had to have 6 weeks off work. My employer decided I was on SSP, statutory sick pay, for those 6 weeks. Upon a really stressful appeal just before my operation, he agreed to pay me 3 weeks' wages. So I didn't need any further support from there. But on second diagnosis, I was off for 9 months. And I was only paid statutory sick pay. I found the benefits system incredibly difficult to navigate and get myself through. Universal credit is an absolute nightmare to try and be awarded. And I consider myself reasonably educated as a general senior manager, and for me that was difficult. the advice I can give to anybody, whoever has to apply for PIP, is get help filling in the form. Get somebody from CAB to fill the form in with you. That way you can guarantee, or you can have a better understanding of what you're filling in and more chance of receiving the payments.